What's going on, YouTube? It's Paul Piper back here with you, and today I am broadcasting from Cardington, Ohio, which is a real small town in north central Ohio, and this is where I grew up. My folks live just outside of town, so I'm back visiting them. Went into the gas station, and what should they have as far as dip goes but Copenhagen Black, Weyman's Reserve. So the long-awaited Copenhagen Black. Haven't been able to find this in Michigan, so picked it up here. Cost was about $4.75 plus tax, so it is a premium dip, and we're going to try it for the very first time here. So let's go ahead and get a look at the can itself. Nice looking can here. A very classic look, almost like a Copenhagen snuff lid. It's got satisfaction since 1822. Class long cut Copenhagen Black, Weyman's Reserve. And then on the side, can't really see too much. I'm at the park, the little park they have in the village of Cardington. Says satisfaction since 1822, Weyman's Reserve, or Weyman's Reserve, Copenhagen, barrel-aged small batches, black. And, you know, for those of you, 100% American, too. That's a big thing, 100% American, but all Copenhagen is 100% American. The barrel-aged small batches, when they produce wet snuff, or what we call in the States dip, it is aged in barrels. They don't just grind tobacco leaf and, you know, stick it in a tin. I mean, there's a some amount of processing in barrels and you know, aging that goes along with the manufacture of wet snuff. And this would be maybe akin to like a small batch bourbon. So that's different than like a whiskey blend or a bourbon blend. So it's a little bit more intricate in the manufacturing process. So I would be interested to, you know, tour like a factory or something to see what all goes into the different manufacturing of the different types of wet snuff or dip. But anyway, enough talking here. Let's go ahead and try this. So grab a tin of your favorite dip, and let's load a lip together here. This is a fresh can, so I gotta crack it. Shouldn't really have to pack it since it's brand new. Ooh, alright, so you see, kind of see, it's got the standard 1 or 2 pinches missing from the can, which is common for Copenhagen. Tin note. Definitely bourbon whiskey. Pretty strong, to be quite honest, as far as the tin note goes. Maybe even a little bit more of an alcohol, almost like a denatured alcohol or something. But you can definitely smell the bourbon. Yeah. Yep. Alright, so let's go ahead and load a lip. It's very moist. It's brand new. I think the expiration date on it is February of 2018. Standard Copenhagen cut, which is a little bit smaller cut on their long cut than, you know, some of their competition like Skull or even Grizzly, I think. So let's load a lip. Cheers. Let that juice up a little bit. Initial impressions. It's very, very moist in the tin. Very moist. Probably the most moisture of any dip that I've had coming out of the tin, pinching it out of the tin, with the exception maybe of Stoker's. That Stoker's is so frickin', you know, juicy. And Stoker's gets kind of a syrup or a molasses type, almost like chew. You know, especially if you're dipping Stoker's wintergreen. That shit's moist, but it's less moist to the fingers, to the touch, as it is that it juices up and you get, you know, you get like a syrup type flavor, and like you do with chaw. I mean, chaw's based in molasses. This is more of a, you can tell what they did is they took maybe like the same process of manufacturing Copenhagen long cut natural, and they probably just stuck it in oak barrels that were used to manufacture bourbon, and they might have splashed some bourbon or some other type of whiskey on there, maybe Tennessee whiskey, something like that, and they sealed up that barrel and let it ferment a little bit. That's what I think they did. So you've got dark fired Kentucky as the tobacco base. Stick it in a charred oak barrel. Put a little bit of bourbon or other type of whiskey on it and seal it up for a little bit. I don't know if they apply pressure when they do that or not, or if they just, you know, they might put a weight on the top and apply some pressure. I don't know, but I'd say that's how they do it, and the flavor comes through. It definitely has a bourbon undertone, or like I said, could be Tennessee whiskey. Bourbon, for those of you that don't know, is any whiskey or distilled spirit that is at least, I think, 51% corn mixture that's manufactured in Bourbon County, Kentucky. Nothing else is bourbon. Even if it's 51%, everything else in the manufacturing process is the same. If it's manufactured outside of the county of Bourbon in Kentucky, then it's not bourbon. It could be Kentucky whiskey, Tennessee whiskey, whatever. So that's a little bit about that. And if you're interested in bourbons and stuff, go do the bourbon tour in Bourbon County, Kentucky. I did that probably 10, 15 years ago. It's really interesting. Get to go to all the different distilleries there. Maker's Mark is really cool. That's probably the neatest one that I toured. But Buffalo Trace, there's a whole bunch of them there that you can check out. But you get a little bit of the background. Well, I don't know which one jumps to the front. If it's the flavor of the dark fired Kentuckys with that smoke. Again, that's, you know, that's a very unique flavor, and that's what the basis of, I think, every dip is. It's just with all these wintergreens and mints and shit, they just put all this artificial flavorings in it. I would say they probably use real bourbon for this. It's got a good flavor. It doesn't overwhelm the flavor of the tobacco. You're still getting the tobacco, but you're getting that little bit of a, you know, malt, the flavor of the whiskey come through. And that's what's good about whiskey, is that, you know, you get different intricate flavors coming through. You know, if it's a rye, if it's a, you know, corn base, whatever. So this is really good stuff. Now I do believe it's just going to be promotional or seasonal, but you know, they did a really good job with this. This is something that if you're looking for a little bit more of a complex flavor and you're a Copenhagen long cut natural guy, which I really enjoy that. The only difference is, you know, I like extra long cut natural probably a little bit better, just because of the cut. So if they made a extra long cut natural and they use the same quality tobacco, I would probably definitely prefer that. But long cut for Copenhagen, long cut naturals, really small. I mean, it's longer than snuff, obviously, but I get more floaters and stuff with that. So if you're a natural guy, I think you'll really like this. If you're a Copenhagen Southern blend, it's similar to that, except instead of using like a tea or a peach undertone, it's using bourbon, which is good. So I'm going to give this a score of, I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10. This is damn good shit. I like it. It's high quality, 100% American. The presentation of the tin is really good. Flavor is really good. Stays packed. Not a lot of floaters. Spit. I never really get a real dark spit with anything other than Stoker's. Again, because you're going back to all that syrup, molasses, whatever they put in there to give it more consistency. But nice job, Copenhagen. Check your local gas station or tobacco store, see if they have it. Try it and let me know what you think in the comments. If the good Lord's willing and the creek don't rise, I'll see you next time. It's been Paul Piper. Take care.